is going on, guys? It's Justin from the J Media and I'm back with another video. So today I'll be talking more about my turbo build, my Mitsubishi Lancer GT. So if you guys haven't already watched the previous video, make sure to watch that first. So in the previous video, what I actually did was I compiled a list and read out everything that is needed to turbocharge your Mitsubishi Lancer. So like I said, I was getting information from forums, from Facebook groups, and from other Turbo Lancer owners and websites and all that stuff to compile this list. So I read to you guys in the previous video what's needed in this list, so make sure to check that out first. Today what I'll be doing is I'm going to be laying down everything over here, so you guys can see I have a bunch of turbo parts. I went with the Ralliart turbo setup. I also got some aftermarket parts here, so I'm going to show you guys everything that I have for my turbo build. So I first laid out all the OEM Ralliart turbo stuff that I have. So again, everything you see here you can get for about 800 to 1,000 bucks. That's how much I picked it up for. So starting over here, we have the Ralliart turbo, and then over here we have the OEM Ralliart intercooler, pretty small. The Ralliart intercooler piping, both the lower and upper intercooler piping. We have the intake box. We have the downpipe. Let's see, the turbo manifold, and then some oil lines over here. The stock blow-off valve. I think this is like a dump, like open dump. The stock fuel pump, as well as injectors. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have over here. Again, for the OEM Ralliart turbo setup. Like I said, picked these up for about 800 bucks, excluding shipping. So close to 1,000 bucks, you can pick everything up, I'm pretty sure. And this should be pretty much almost what you need to turbocharge your car for a start if you're trying to do it budget way. Of course, there's small little stuff here and there you have to pick up, as well as the tune. But let me also show you guys what other aftermarket parts I have to complement with these stuff. So like I say, some stuff I'm gonna sell this, the Ralliart intercooler. I'm going to get rid of the upper intercooler and lower intercooler piping, get rid of the stock intake box. Small stuff like that I'm going to switch out. So if you guys are interested in like the intercooler, for example, hit me out on my Instagram. If I still have it, I'll let it go for pretty cheap. Now that I cover all the OEM Ralliart turbo setup, I'm going to cover more OEM parts, but off the Evo 10 that I got. So these are not 100% necessary, but I decided to go with it anyway. So over here we have the OEM Evo 10 cams. So whether you're NA or turbo, I heard just by adding these in, even if you're NA, and once you get a tune, gives you about 20 extra wheel horsepower. So it's a pretty good mod. And then over here, we have the intake manifold from the Evo 10. Like I said, the Mitsubishi Lancer one is plastic. It works as well, but I prefer the metal. And then we also have a stock Evo 10 throttle body. So again, Lancer one works, but the Evo 10 throttle body is bigger. If you want to get the intake manifold, you do have to get the throttle body because it matches here. They use a different bolt size as well that's bigger than the Lancer, so make sure to get that. And then moving on, more parts. So more aftermarket stuff. Let me show you guys what we have here. So one of my favorite parts about the glue in the car, and possibly the rarest part over here, is the front mount intercooler. So you guys saw earlier, we have this tiny Ralliart front mount intercooler that's got to go. I know some guys switch it over to the OEM Evo 10 intercooler that works too. It's bigger. I decided, you know, if you guys know JDM brands, you know brands like ARC, HKS. ARC makes great stuff, super rare to find. So yeah, this is a huge ARC front mount intercooler meant for the Evo 10. So we're going to fit this on. And then talking about ARC, I also got the ARC intake box. So that stock intake box is going to go, so we replace with the ARC one, another super rare part. When I say rare, it's because these parts have been discontinued for, I want to say 10 years. It's been a while. So even if you have money to buy it, you need to find someone who actually has it. And then beside it over here, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be able to use this, but I picked this up from the same guys I got my ARC parts from. He said this is the ARC blow-off valve pipe. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use it. Hopefully yes. If not, I'll just let that go. And then over here, some really beautiful stuff. So over there, that's a stock upper and lower intercooler piping. I decided to switch them out for some titanium bits. So I'm going to redo my whole engine bay with as much titanium as I can. This is the upper intercooler piping, and that's the lower intercooler piping. So came with all the hardware like the couplings and all these clamps. So got my titanium stuff from RK Titanium, if you guys are wondering. And then moving on over here, we have the trans cooler. So since I have the CVT transmission, I want to make sure it runs cool. So I already have one on the car, stock, but it's recommended by another turbo CVT Lancer owner to run an additional one. So this is an additional transmission cooler with all the hoses and all that stuff. You can get it from Mishimoto. I decided to go with a different brand. I'm not sure what the brand is called. I think it's called Hayden or something like that. That the guy sent to me. And then I also got transmission. I got some fans. So what the fans are going to do is it's going to mount onto the transmission cooler. So we're going to keep it cool. Since I have a stock one and this aftermarket one, I'm going to have two. I'm going to run two fans. So a little extra. It's not that CVT transmission can't hold boost. Is that the transmission is pretty weak, so it's always overheating, so I want to make sure that it keeps it cool. And then over here I got this part from Kinugawa. So I think I'm not sure what's the name of this, called the turbo actuator, but basically what it does is something about controlling the boost. And then beside it we have more parts that limits the boost. So over here, this is a manual boost controller. So this one is by, I think, HBC. On my guide there was a link to it, so hopefully I'll be able to like list out the parts as well, so if you guys are interested, you guys can get it. But as a manual boost controller, since I can't be running high boost in the car, I do have to lower the boost, and this actually helps me manually control how much boost I want to run on the car. And then beside it we have HKS blow-off valve. So I do have a stock blow-off valve over there, but hopefully you'll be able to fit the HKS, and you cannot release the atmosphere, so it does have to be recirculating back to the intake. So they did provide something where I can make this HKS valve recirculating. And then I got my custom oil lines over here. So AN fittings. These oil lines will be going to the oil pan. So again, big shout out to Jonathan Bays. He actually put together this custom oil lines for me. You guys could also get it yourself, piece it together, but I just didn't know the different sizes. I got some heat wrap. I'm not sure, this is probably not going to be enough. I probably need more, but what the heat wrap's going to do is it's going to wrap around that guy right there, which is the stock turbo manifold, and hopefully prevent it from getting too hot. And then moving on, we have beautiful gauges here. So first one over here, we have an AEM FU ratio gauge, and then we have an AEM boost gauge. So the essentials, these two are definitely needed for a turbo car. A boost gauge as well as a FU ratio gauge. I just decided I want to go with the same brand, so I went with 3 AEM gauges. So again, FU ratio gauge from AEM, AEM boost gauge, and the last one I went with is an OEM oil temp gauge. So this one's optional. I decided to go with it just because I want a 3 gauge pod. So this is a carbon fiber 3 gauge pod. So I know some guys have the A-pillar, heavy mount on the A-pillar on the steering wheel. I wanted to kind of do it like old school tuner style, like these Subarus. So that's gonna house all 3 gauges. Does have to be hooked up as well. And then next over here, small little part, but here's another part from ARC. If we can get the camera to focus. So basically this is ARC radiator cap. So yeah, so tiny but expensive as well, just because it's from ARC. And then finally we have a coil rad radiator. So my radiator is perfectly fine, but on the Mitsubishi Lancers, those are made of plastic, not the best. And this is a full-size radiator with the boost. I want to make sure that my car can handle it, so I decided to switch it up as well. This is actually a coil rad radiator, full aluminum, full size. I believe this one is for the Evo 10. So I've been told that it can fit, so yeah, hopefully no fitment issues. And again, over here we have everything here. If you guys want to know the part list, exactly what it is, what brand, make sure to check out the previous video. But yeah, here's everything laid out for you guys. Here's another overview of all the turbo parts. So like I said, I've been collecting these parts for quite a few months now. I've been doing research on forums, on websites, on Facebook groups, talking to other Turbo Lancer owners. So yeah, these parts didn't just show up on my doorstep. Like I said, I had to piece them bit by bit. So just over there, that's the OEM setup, which is the minimum that you need to boost the car. Got some extra Evo 10 parts, and all these are the additional aftermarket parts. So yeah, all in all, I did spend quite a lot more than I thought I would be. So in a separate video, once the whole turbo build is done, I'll probably do a separate video talking about how much it costs to boost your car. Because I know a lot of you are interested, like I said, to get the OEM Ralliart or OEM Evo 10 setup. You could probably spend about $800 to $1,000. And then I'm sure you need small stuff here and there, and then you need tuning done. But I heard all in all, it's possible to get it done on a budget for about $2,000 or $3,000. With the amount of parts I spend here and the amount of money I'm about to spend on tuning as well as install, it's going to cost more. So I don't want to put out a number out there yet, but I'll let you guys know exactly how much each part costs and how much I spend total once the whole project has been done. So if you guys want to stay tuned for the install, again, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you know when new videos are out. Leave a thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.